Hey guys, in this video we're going to be looking at this 12 volt 200 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery by PowerUrus. So I'm pretty excited to review this battery because I feel if you're starting to create a system and you're mapping things out and you're trying to think of what you're going to need, I think a minimum for a system for, let's say, an RV or camper, you're going to want to at least strive to run a 1500 watt pure sine wave inverter. So if you just buy a single 100 amp hour battery, you're not exactly going to be able to run a 1500 watt pure sine wave inverter. Now, what are some of the things that you can run with at least 1500 watts? Well, if you think about it, one of your receptacles on your home can power 1500 watts. So that would be a space heater on high, that would be a cooktop on high, and that would be many different AC units. So with this battery being a 200 amp hour battery, you can actually run almost 2500 watts, which means you could easily run like a cooktop and you can easily run your air conditioner at the same time, as long as they're not like rather large air conditioner and you have just a single burner running on your cooktop. With a 200 amp hour battery, you'd be able to achieve that. So I think a good standard for any system, I would strive to at least have a minimum of 200 amp hours, which is why I'm really excited to review this battery. So without further ado, let's get into looking at this battery. And on the front of the battery, we have lithium iron phosphate. We have our charging voltage of 14.6, our charging current of 100 amps, and our discharge current of 200 amps. Our maximum discharge current is 250 amps for 30 seconds. I really like that they have printed this on the label, but store at 75% capacity. That is a good benchmark. If you're at the end of your season, you're winterizing your trailer, charge this up to 75% and then leave it. And then 6 months later, when you go to summerize your trailer, you can then charge this back up to full and you're good to go. No extra steps, no filling water, nothing like that. And if we look at the top of the battery, you can see we have our terminal lugs here, which look very nice, and they're epoxied in. We also have a vent release, which I haven't really seen on this style of case of battery. So this vent relief, if there's pressure buildup in here, in the highly unlikely event that pressure is built up in here, this is going to allow it to relieve the pressure. Also, you can see here we have some printing. This is going to be the code for the Bluetooth app. Yes, this battery has Bluetooth, and we can actually see what is going on with the pack. On the side of the battery, we have a typical nylon rope handle here for carrying the battery, and the back side is basically just the same printing. Okay, now like I have alluded to, this battery has Bluetooth, and the app is called LiFePO4 Fish. Okay, so actually, this battery is an affiliate of LiFePO's. So we all know that LiFePO makes excellent batteries. They also make epoch batteries as well. So this is another subsidiary of LiFePO, I'm assuming. I don't have confirmation of that, but if this is made by LiFePO as well, then I'm only going to assume that this battery is just going to be excellent build quality. Let's open up the app here and check it out. Now, I'm not going to ruin it for you guys. I've actually already filmed and done the discharge test on this battery. Spoiler alert, it passes. I've already done the discharge test, so that's why you are seeing 0% on the overall capacity. You can see the total voltage of 10.8, and this is typical of a discharge test already being concluded. I'm actually kind of surprised the difference between the voltage on the cells is extremely low, considering this is right now bottom balanced, I guess you could say, or bottom charged. So the difference between the cells is looking really good. You can see we actually have multiple temperature sensors in this battery. So we have temperature sensor 0, which is 32 degrees, temperature sensor 1, temperature sensor 2, and temperature sensor 3. So we actually have 4 temperature sensors in this battery. Okay, we can also see our state of health is at 99%. Our discharge, our actual capacity. So I actually have a different number than what the app is telling me for actual capacity. And I don't know why it has actual capacity at 202. But nonetheless, I'm going to go by the number that I was able to achieve off of my smart shunt. What else? So this is the app. This is pretty much all you get. There is a Wi-Fi switch here, and you can turn it on and off. It doesn't actually give Wi-Fi. I believe there's a relay in the unit, and I'm going to assume that might be for a heating function for a different style of battery using this BMS. But nonetheless, that Wi-Fi switching doesn't do anything. I mean, you could set something up in the battery if you wanted to maybe do an active balancer or something, but you guys aren't going to open these batteries up. So it's just a non-function. I wouldn't worry about it. Yeah, so that's the app. That's really neat looking. I can actually put a charger. When we do our cold temperature disconnect, you'll be able to see the amps going in to the battery at that point. So I think the next step now is going to be, let's open up this battery and have a look and, oh no, sorry, discharge test. Okay, with the magic of film, woo, I'm going to cut to the discharge test and I will give you those results, and then I'm going to tear this open. And I'm ready to start my discharge test. And I'm discharging right around 75 amps. So I'm going to let this run and I will be back when the test is complete. And the test results are in, and we have a surprising 216.595. So this battery well surpassed the rated capacity. This is the best test result I've actually had out of a lithium iron phosphate battery. So this test is a pass. Okay, I think I'm ready for the reveal. Okay. Wow, this is beautiful. My God. Okay, I better bring you guys in to see this. Okay, this thing is a thing of beauty. Okay, let's start up here. So we have silicone cap over the positive, which is covering the terminal. Oh wow, look at that. So we actually have a potted temperature sensor that's onto a terminal lug that is measuring the temperature of the actual lug here, which is extremely smart because sometimes people may not tighten up their lugs the way they should, which is going to create heat. So this is going to protect you against excess heat if you don't have your terminals properly either crimped or tightened to the posts on the top. So this is a protection for you. I mean, look at this. So the positive is all wrapped with this heat retardant tape. So this is going to protect. We have a nice lug here that's nicely crimped. That is just, everything's beautiful. So we have a QR code here to keep track of the wire. On the negative, it's the exact same. So we have the cap here. This cap just came off because I was wiggling it around the zip tie here. So all these wires is wrapped with this tape that's like a heat protection tape. I'm not even sure what it's called. I need to get this battery out of this case. This is looking really, really good. Okay, so we have high density foam up at the top here. Okay, I can see prismatic cells. Oh, okay, that comes out nice. Okay. Let's turn this up. Wow. I'm gonna pull these off. It's a little bit too close for comfort to all of this nice negative metal. Oh, we have a temperature sensor on the negative as well. So two of the temperature sensors is for the positive and negative terminal. So we have a stamp here of lithium ion. Now I've already explained in other videos, it says lithium ion. That is basically, so Li stands for lithium and then ion stands for atoms. So it's atoms that are either positively or negatively charged and they pass over the anode cathode. So it does not mean NMC. So this is a lithium iron phosphate chemistry. By it saying lithium ion, it's just saying basically lithium battery. It's not a chemistry. I can't stress that enough. I've gotten in arguments with other YouTubers about this. So I'm not gonna fully dismantle this because as you can see, we have some nice aluminum bars up here. These are all bolted with rods through. We have metal banding, a very thick metal banding actually. We even have, you can see the metal banding here. Actually, let's get a closer view So you can see just how thick that metal banding is. Like, they did not cheap out. We even have some heat shrink on the metal banding so it doesn't have contact onto the cell. Like, you can see how the banding passes the cell here, and there's no contact because there's heat shrink on this. We have separations here. Each individual cell, you can see there's fish paper on this one. There is paper on all of them. Okay, so all the cells have fish paper in between them, which is a good insulator. Let's roll this up on the side. Oh my, look at that. It's like for a car engine or something. Like, look at this aluminum here. So this is where the banding is kind of got holes and it's dimpled together so it doesn't come undone. You can see here we have a bolt that runs straight through and connects here. We have another bolt that runs straight through, and same on this side here. Like, this is casted aluminum. This is amazing. Okay, we have our main positive over here. And we also have another, so this wire, okay, I'll turn, actually you can see it here. So we have, so this is going to be 2 packs of 100 amp hour batteries. So this is one 100 amp hour battery and this is another 100 amp hour battery. So the positive comes from here, runs across and connects into here into this positive, which then parallels the 2 batteries together. I'm going to take the end off of one side. And this happens to be the side with the lugs here, so I got to be careful. Oh, that's T2, so that's a temperature sensor. Oh, okay, so actually, is that right? Yeah, so I was wrong. These 2 are paralleled together, and then it's series to these, and then it's series to these 2, and then it's series to these 2. Okay, that's how, yeah, that makes sense because the negative is over here and the positive is over here. So this wire here is red all the way through, but one side, if that's positive, so that's going to be positive, negative, and then positive, and then negative. So this, you could actually put a black heat shrink on here to identify this as a negative, and then the opposing side is going to be a positive. I've never seen at this price point, you can even see we have wire harnesses here. All the wires are labeled. All the wires have this heat tape here that's going to be heat resistant. Okay, so these wires here run over to here, which this is the Bluetooth on this side over here, and we have the same serial number that you will connect to the Bluetooth, and that's conformally coded. This is going to the main positive, and then these are the balance leads and temperature sensors on this side over here. And then these are our lugs. I don't want to remove these wraps, but I have no doubt that these conductors are sized appropriately. Let's have a look at this BMS. You can actually see there, so this is by LiFePO4. So that is pretty cool. This whole board is conformally coated, which is great. Look at all these FETs. We even have a temperature sensor there in the middle. And panning over, you can see the Bluetooth module there. So very clean looking BMS. Now LiFePO4 is definitely known for having some amazing batteries on the market. And you can even see with this BMS, like this big chunk of aluminum here for a heat sink that's sitting right across all of these MOSFETs. Nothing but quality, guys. So we actually have a 200A 200 amp hour printed on the BMS heatsink, and I'm quite amazed at how thick that is. For a 200 amp hour battery, has to be one of the best looking ones I've seen. So I'm going to put this back together a little bit, and then I'm going to pull a temperature sensor off and we'll try the low temperature protection. Okay, temperature sensor test for low temperature protection. So we have 5.1 amps going in. Our temperature sensors all are around 29 degrees. So I don't want to pull this one off. So I'm just going to attempt to press the cold pack up against it. I'm not seeing any temperature difference yet. Oh, there, temperature sensor number 1, look at that, 26. This might take a little bit because I'm trying to cool the aluminum. I don't think this actually might not work. I don't want to pull the temperature sensor. Let's try one of these potted temperature sensors. That might work. Oh yeah, you can see temperature sensor number 1 jumped right back up again, so there's no way I'm cooling that. I'd have to cool the cell or pull that tape off, which I really don't want to do. Come on, where's a sensor that's going to start dropping? I have a feeling it's going to be 2 or 3. Should be getting a bit of a drop by now. Okay, I'm going to try the old duster. Okay, that definitely should have gotten that to drop. Oh, there we go, 28, but both of them need to be cooled? Okay, I'm a little saddened here. I'm not seeing a change on any of the 2 temperature sensors I'm cooling. Maybe these are only high temperature sensors. I'm gonna let it cool down and then I'm gonna try heat on those and not cooling. Maybe that's the issue. Okay, I've got the temperature sensor off the cells. Let's try that with my... Okay, we can see it dropping now. Temperature sensor 1. 16. Okay, we got 10 degrees. 4 degrees, so we're getting there. Sorry if I'm blocking the battery. Oh, there we go. Look at that, it says right on the app there. Charging temperature protection, low temperature protection, and we've stopped charging. Okay, let's heat this back up now. Okay, we're at 4 degrees. Should come on around 5 degrees. There we go. Okay, and then charging should start again. See, oh, there we go. Okay. So that temperature sensor works. So the 2 temperature sensors on the batteries themselves on the cells disconnect under low temperature. Yeah, they're still cold to the touch. And I'm only seeing 28 degrees. So let's try heat then. Because it would make sense that the temperature sensors on the battery do low temperature and then these would do high temperature. Yeah, I'm starting to smell burning plastic. And still 28, 28. Okay, so these temperature sensors on the lugs themselves don't appear to be doing anything. Oh, that's kind of a waste. It's a little bit of a waste. Let's try high temperature on this. And there you go, high temperature protection. So we have high and low temperature protection on the cells on this temperature sensor, but these 2 lug terminals, they don't seem to be doing anything. A little bit of a waste, but nonetheless, we have 2 temperature sensors, which is actually above normal. Normally there's only 1 temperature sensor per battery. And these have 2, so that's a bonus. Okay, we're below 40, it should start, there we go. And charging has commenced. So my final thoughts on this battery is a fantastic battery. Despite the potted temperature sensors on the actual lugs not working, which is a little bit of a bummer, but the temperature sensors that are directly on the cells where it counts most is there and they do work, so that's good. This battery right now, I believe it's like $750 American. And it also comes for the first 100 customers a free 10 amp charger as well with it, which is like a $70 value. So it's pretty nice that they're selling this for that price point. As far as overall quality, I mean, the BMS is built. The BMS is built and supplied by LiFePO4, which is an amazing company. The cells, I couldn't get a cell manufacturer off of it. I don't want to pull it that far apart, but I have no doubt that they're grade A cells from a top quality manufacturer. I mean, I think the test was 216 amp hours overall, so blew it out of the water on the capacity test. We have Bluetooth, we have 2 temperature sensors out of 4 that work. Overall, top-notch quality. I mean, banding, everything's just amazing. So this is definitely in a different class from the rest. So please check them out. I'll leave links in the description below for their website with the free charger, as well as I'll leave an Amazon link too if you want to check it out that way. But as always, thank you for watching and stay tuned for the next one. Thanks, bye.